Imagine a world where playing video games meant packing quarters for the arcade, with no way to bring the fun home. Then, one company dared to change the game forever. Atari didn't just create a console, it sparked a revolution that would shape generations. But behind the flashy graphics and joystick was a battle for survival, innovation, and dominance. Welcome to Joystick News, where we uncover the untold stories behind gaming's greatest legends. It was the early 1970s, and the idea of gaming at home was little more than a dream. Arcades ruled the scene, and entertainment was limited to what you could find on television. Then came Atari, a small company with a big vision. In 1977, they unleashed the Atari 2600, a sleek machine with wood grain panels that looked more like furniture than a gaming device. But this wasn't just any console. The Atari 2600 brought something no one had seen before: interchangeable cartridges that allowed players to switch games at will. Titles like Pong and Space Invaders quickly became household staples. Suddenly, families weren't just watching TV, they were playing together. Yet, for all its success, the journey wasn't smooth. Atari was gambling big on a technology that no one had perfected, navigating a market that didn't yet exist. Manufacturing costs, skeptical retailers, and the question of whether players would embrace this new form of entertainment loomed large. Atari had taken a bold leap, but would it pay off, or would they crash and burn? Stay tuned, because the challenges Atari faced in those early days were only the beginning of the story. The golden age of gaming was about to face its darkest hour. By the early 1980s, gaming had become a sensation. Dozens of companies rushed to capitalize on its booming popularity, flooding the market with consoles and games. But with rapid growth came greed and mistakes. Companies prioritized quantity over quality, pushing out incomplete and uninspired games that left players frustrated. One game would become the symbol of this downfall: at the extraterrestrial for the Atari 2600. Hyped as the next big blockbuster, its rushed development left players bewildered and angry. Legend has it that so many copies were unsold they ended up buried in a New Mexico landfill, a story that's haunted gaming history ever since. The damage was done. Retailers were left with unsold stock piling up in warehouses. Customers grew wary of video games, branding them as a passing fad. By 1983, the industry collapsed, leaving companies bankrupt and the future of gaming uncertain. But out of the ashes of failure came lessons that would forever reshape the industry. Companies would have to rebuild consumer trust and create systems that emphasized quality and innovation. It wasn't just about survival, it was about proving that gaming was here to stay. How did the industry rise from the brink of extinction to reclaim its place as a cultural powerhouse? That's where the next chapter begins. It was the late 1980s, and gaming had a new battlefield. Two titans were about to collide, igniting a war that would define a generation. Nintendo, fresh off the success of the NES, seemed untouchable. But then came Sega, a bold challenger with a mission to disrupt the status quo. In 1989, Sega released the Genesis, a sleek 16-bit console that promised to deliver faster, flashier, and edgier experiences than Nintendo's offerings. Sega didn't just release a console, they launched an attitude. Their marketing targeted older kids and teens, mocking Nintendo with slogans like "Genesis does what Nintendo don't." And then came Sonic the Hedgehog, a fast, rebellious mascot who directly countered Nintendo's family friendly Mario. Sonic wasn't just a game, he was a statement. Nintendo wasn't going to take this lying down. They answered with the Super Nintendo Entertainment System SNES, boasting enhanced graphics, an iconic lineup of games like Super Mario World and The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, and accessories like the Super FX chip that pushed technical boundaries. The rivalry wasn't just about consoles, it was about cultural identity. Sega's Genesis appealed to kids who wanted to feel cool, while Nintendo maintained its dominance by perfecting timeless gameplay and expanding its loyal fanbase. This legendary feud didn't just push sales, it pushed innovation. From Sega's blast processing to Nintendo's Mode 7 graphics, the two companies constantly outdid each other, forever raising the bar for what gaming could achieve. But the war wasn't eternal. As the 1990s unfolded, a new player was waiting in the wings, ready to change the rules of the game forever. In the mid 1990s, gaming was about to leap into a new dimension literally, and it wasn't Nintendo or Sega leading the charge, but an unexpected newcomer, Sony. In 1994, Sony introduced the PlayStation, a sleek, modern console that seemed light years ahead of its competitors. Unlike the cartridge based systems of the past, the PlayStation used CD-ROMs, which allowed for larger games, full motion video, and immersive audio. This wasn't just an upgrade, it was a paradigm shift. The PlayStation didn't just look futuristic, it delivered experiences players had never seen before. Titles like Final Fantasy Roman 7 captivated gamers with sprawling 3D worlds and emotional storytelling, while Metal Gear Solid redefined what video games could be, blending stealth gameplay with cinematic flair. Sony wasn't just selling a console, they were creating an entirely new identity for gaming, one that felt sophisticated, mature, and ambitious. Sony's entry into the market shattered the old rules. The PlayStation appealed to an older demographic, expanding gaming's audience beyond kids and teens. Sony also made it easy for third party developers to create games for their system, flooding the market with innovative titles that gave players endless reasons to choose the PlayStation over its rivals. The PlayStation's success sent shockwaves through the industry. Nintendo and Sega, once comfortable as the dominant players, now faced a competitor who wasn't playing by their rules. Sony had proven that gaming wasn't just about hardware, it was about vision. But with the stakes higher than ever, the question loomed: how would Nintendo and Sega fight back against this new powerhouse? In the early 2000s, a tech giant stepped onto the battlefield, determined to carve its place in a world dominated by gaming legends. Microsoft wasn't just joining the console wars, they were rewriting the rules. When Microsoft launched the Xbox in 2001, it was clear this wasn't just another gaming console. The Xbox was a powerhouse, introducing features that would change gaming forever. An internal hard drive eliminated the need for memory cards, offering players more storage and faster performance. But its boldest innovation was Xbox Live, an online service that promised to connect players around the globe. This wasn't just about gaming, it was about creating a community. The Xbox's success, however, hinged on one game: Halo Combat Evolved. With its gripping storyline, expansive multiplayer modes, and revolutionary gameplay, Halo became the definitive first person shooter of its time. It wasn't just a game, it was a phenomenon, and it gave the Xbox an identity that could compete with gaming's giants. But why did Microsoft, a company known for software, venture into the hardware heavy world of gaming? The answer was ambition. Microsoft saw the rising influence of gaming and wanted a piece of the future. They weren't just competing for sales, they were positioning themselves as a tech leader in entertainment. The Xbox's impact was immediate. It forced Sony and Nintendo to rethink their approach, particularly in online gaming. Microsoft had drawn a line in the sand, proving that a newcomer with the right innovations could challenge even the most established brands. But as the Xbox found its footing, a new era of competition was dawning, one where innovation, strategy, and survival would define the next generation. In a world obsessed with power and performance, Nintendo made a bold decision. Instead of chasing cutting edge hardware, they focused on something far more revolutionary: how we play. In 2006, Nintendo unveiled the Wii, a console that broke every convention. It wasn't about graphics or raw power, it was about motion. With its intuitive Wii remote, players could swing, point, and move in ways that brought gaming to life. Bowling a strike in Wii Sports or slicing enemies in The Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess felt natural, immersive, and undeniably fun. But the Wii didn't just cater to traditional gamers. Nintendo targeted families, seniors, and anyone who had never picked up a controller before. The simplicity of motion controls and games like Wii Fit turned the console into a household staple. Nursing homes, fitness enthusiasts, and parents all embraced the Wii, breaking the stereotype of gaming as a hobby for kids and teens. The industry couldn't ignore the phenomenon. Nintendo's focus on accessibility paid off, with the Wii becoming one of the most successful consoles of all time. But its success wasn't just about sales, it taught the industry a valuable lesson. Players didn't just want better graphics or more buttons, they wanted new ways to interact, connect, and experience games. As the dust settled on the Wii's extraordinary run, the question loomed: how would competitors respond, and could Nintendo maintain their momentum in an ever changing landscape? In 2013, the gaming world reached a pivotal crossroads. Two giants stood face to face, each armed with technology designed to dominate not just gaming but entertainment itself. The PlayStation 4 and Xbox One weren't just gaming consoles, they were multimedia hubs. Both systems emphasized online connectivity, offering seamless streaming, social integration, and downloadable content. For Sony, the PlayStation 4's message was clear: this console was for the players. With a focus on powerful hardware and an impressive lineup of exclusive titles like The Last of Us Remastered and Bloodborne, Sony positioned itself as the go to system for serious gamers. Microsoft, on the other hand, took a broader approach with the Xbox One. The console was marketed as an all in one entertainment system, capable of integrating live TV, apps, and voice controls through Kinect. But this ambition came at a cost. The initial focus on non gaming features alienated hardcore players, and a controversial always online policy backfired, forcing Microsoft to quickly revise its strategy. Performance became a key battleground. The PlayStation 4's hardware slightly outperformed the Xbox One, which became a selling point for gamers seeking the best experience. Meanwhile, exclusive titles for each console fueled fierce loyalty among fans. But beyond the rivalry, these consoles redefined the gaming experience. They cemented online multiplayer as a cornerstone of modern gaming, introduced subscription services like PlayStation Plus and Xbox Game Pass, and expanded the reach of digital game libraries. As the generation unfolded, one thing became clear: gaming was no longer confined to consoles, it was evolving into a lifestyle. But as Sony and Microsoft competed, a familiar challenger quietly prepared for their next move. In 2017, Nintendo once again rewrote the rules of gaming. The Switch wasn't just a console. It was a declaration that players no longer needed to choose between gaming on the go and playing at home. With its hybrid design, the Switch allowed players to seamlessly transition between handheld and docked modes. This versatility, paired with an impressive library of games like The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Animal Crossing, New Horizons, struck a chord with gamers of all kinds. Whether on a plane, a couch, or anywhere in between, the Switch offered an experience tailored to the player's lifestyle. Nintendo's innovation wasn't just about hardware, it was about understanding what players wanted: flexibility, convenience, and fun. The Switch became a cultural phenomenon, proving that creativity could triumph over raw power in the gaming market. As we enter the latest chapter of gaming history, two titans are leading the charge with consoles that blur the line between reality and imagination. The PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X represent the pinnacle of technological advancement. With ray tracing, ultra fast SSDs, and breathtaking visuals, these systems are pushing the boundaries of what games can achieve. Titles like Demon's Souls and Halo Infinite showcase the capabilities of this next gen era, immersing players in worlds more realistic and dynamic than ever before. But the future isn't just about graphics. Cloud gaming, virtual reality, and deeper online integration are poised to redefine how we play, compete, and connect. The challenges and opportunities of this new frontier are as exciting as they are unpredictable. What lies ahead for gaming consoles? What bold innovations will reshape the industry next? Stay tuned to Joystick News, where we continue to explore the epic evolution of gaming. From legendary rivalries to groundbreaking technology, the story of gaming is far from over, and we're here to uncover every twist and turn. Subscribe now and join us as we press start on the next great adventure.